Japan is the world's third largest oil-consuming nation. Oil prices fell after today's earthquake, but have moved back up. For more on the possible long-term impact on oil, we turn to Michael Lynch, a consultant who advises institutional investors and energy companies on the energy market. He's also the president of Strategic Energy and Economic Research. He joins us on the phone from Amherst, Massachusetts. Mr. Lynch, welcome to Bloomberg's Bottom Line. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Sir, talk to us about the impact of this earthquake on oil.
Well, I think you have two earthquakes going on. One that did not happen in Saudi Arabia. People were worried about demonstrations there that did not materialize. But the concern is that the Japanese economy will need less oil in coming weeks because of damage to the refineries. I think that's overblown, though, and you'll find that the emergency recovery efforts are going to probably keep demand fairly close to what they were before the earthquake.
And what might that demand have been?
It's about 4.5 million barrels a day right now, and of course they'll have to import products rather than crude, or less crude and more products now. Mr.
Lynch, can you give our viewers a sense on how a natural disaster like this causes a ripple effect for the world economies?
Well, first there's, of course, a psychological effect, which is a lot of shock and a lot of fear. There's also, we're seeing already a bit of a currency effect as people move money back to Japan to pay for recovery. But as the Japanese government rolls into high gear, we will see a bit of an economic stimulus, spending on reconstruction especially. And I think the central bank will tend to do what it can to stimulate the economy and keep things going. So, short term, it's a bit of a deflationary effect, but
right.
After a week or two, we should see a much stronger positive impact.
You mentioned Japan's central bank. How decisive and how quickly do they have to move?
Well, I think they have to stand prepared to move, first of all, to reassure the Japanese consumers and business community. But it's going to take at least a few days before they have a sense of what needs to be done and where to go. So I don't think they need to react, first thing Saturday morning.
Can you give us a sense how this is going to affect Japan's economic recovery going forward? Because as we mentioned in the lead up to the interview, the Japanese were already having some financial concerns.
Well, unfortunately, it is going to increase their budget deficit as they spend money on the reconstruction, and that, in the long run, is not going to be good news. The only thing they can hope for is that the boost in the economy, leads to a boost in consumer spending, and they get away from this deflationary morass that they've been stuck in for some years now.
Michael Lynch, president of Strategic Energy and Economic Research, joining us on the phone from Amherst, Massachusetts. Mr. Lynch, thanks so much. We appreciate your time.